Okay, guys, welcome on the Community Engineering Hangouts. We will have two great topics today. The first of them is support of PHP 7.4 for Magento 2.3 release line, and the second one is MQP tool overview, like use cases and so on. So let's start with PHP 7.4 upgrade. So Max, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. 1 second. Can you confirm that you can see presentation?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, it's great. And you can hear me, as far as I understand, and we can proceed. So, hi everyone. To everyone, to anyone who does not know me, I am software engineer, core software engineer in Adobe, and this presentation will be about adding PHP 7.4 support for Magento 2.3. As you know, we expect soon to have this release in, if I'm not mistaken, in a week or two. So let's proceed. And first of all, I wanted to describe why we are doing this backward compatible and kind of breaking change for all Magento 2.3 customers. And this is the explanation why we are doing it. As you know, end of life is publicly available information. End of life for PHP 7.2 was on November 2020. Previous state of 2.3 release line was declared support for PHP 7.1, 7.2, and 7.3. It means that after November, it is not recommended to use PHP 7.4 anymore. And the highest version of present, which was present in 2.3 release line, was PHP 7.3, and active support of this version ended on in December 2020. And we was in a position when we still need to support 2.3 release line for some time, and we critically needed to add support of PHP 7.4, and end of life of PHP 7.4 is November 2022. So what approach we took this time? As you know, previously we added support of PHP 7.4 for Magento 2.4. This was a huge amount of work. We already did it once, but this time we needed to add the same support for 2.3. And we decided to do this in a different way. What is the difference? So previously, we tried to do all at once. We tried to deliver all this huge change into 2.4 release line all together. I mean, tests and code changes. And for 2.3 release line, we decided to do two steps upgrade. First one is upgrade of PHPUnit, and second one is really adding support of PHP 7.4. Which also resulted in necessity to remove MTF framework and MTF tests. We don't have framework and test in 2.4 release line, and right now we removed it from 2.3. This, I would say, may be breaking change for someone, or backward incompatible change for someone who will upgrade to 2.3 7 plus version. But the decision was made, and this is kind of right now we have more consistent state with 2.4, but this definitely kind of breaking change for 2.3, at least if we are looking on testing area. The next one huge change was removing web setup wizard. So right now, Magento 2.3 can be installed using only CLI command. There is no installation or upgrade using admin or web UI. And it is obvious we removed a declaration of support PHP 7.1 and 7.2 from composer files. As you know, there was a case when accidentally support of PHP 7.4 was broken for 2.36 P1 release. So right now we just reflected it properly in composer JSON declaration. As I said before, previously it was done accidentally, but right now we had intention to remove PHP 7.2 for reasons I showed you before, like there is no security support anymore for this version of PHP. Let's proceed. So first step, as I mentioned before, was upgrade from previous version of PHPUnit to PHPUnit 9. Last time when we did this upgrade for 2.4 release line, community helped us with it. And there was an approach which widely used this team who worked on this scope. This time we did this upgrade by our internal resources, and we used two tools, or two set of tools for this. One is Friends of PHP code sniffer fixer, and we had a list of bash scripts which we already used for fixing of some tests for 2.4 release line. And we did not use Rector or recommended way, like Rector and all other scripts recommended in the article written by Lukasz about approach which we took when we upgraded tests for 2.4 release line. There will be linked to this article. Why I mentioned it, when you will be upgrading your instances to support 7.4 or support new version of PHPUnit, using the scripts and approach with Rector from that article may help you to do this upgrade really. So what areas was affected and we needed to fix? I would say most all of the tests, all type of tests, API integration, unit, web API, I would say almost all of them were affected, as well as MFTF tests. But MFTF tests, we needed just do a small amount of changes because they are real declarations. The biggest part was work on MFTF framework itself. Also, we updated all PHPUnit XML declarations and PHPUnit XML dist files as well, and there was some changes to the code of test frameworks. It was caused by changes of API in PHPUnit, and some when we extend functionality of the testing framework, we need to make our implementation compatible with a new API, which is obvious. If you extend our test framework or modify them in any way, your code also may be affected by this change. And some small statistic, like short statistic about it. What we can see, it resulted in about 50 cases of changed code rows, and 6,500 files were affected. Just want to mention to you another number. When we did this change for 2.4, everything was to get done at once, and there was changes related to PHPUnit and PHP 7.4. But that time we had about 100K code of rows affected. So when we completed with PHPUnit 9 upgrade delivered to mainline, we proceed with real add-in support of PHP 7.4. As I mentioned before, the biggest change was to Magento to MFTF framework, and we released version 2.7, which supports PHPUnit 9 and PHP 7.4. And also, like adding support of PHP 7.4 was much easier after we updated and made our code base compatible with PHPUnit 9. We need to change about 1K of rows of code and just 275 files. And about 200 of these files was updating composer JSON declarations. So there were not many code changes, real code changes or fixes. But we will talk a bit about about code changes. So here is the list of the most common issues which we face it in Magento codebase. And when you will do update for your codebase, you may see similar or maybe even more. You can find all the information what you need in the article on PHP.net website. I will give you a link to the article how upgrade to PHP 7.3 to 7.4. There are a lot of changes, many of them like deprecations and other stuff and new functionality. But I want to briefly explain what this change is about. I mean, this small list of changes which we face it in Magento code. So first of all, array style access to non-arrays. Previously, you may call kind of you was able to get value even if you call if you treat as array null, boolean, int, float, or even resource. So right now you will get notice and your application will be failed. We did some adjustment to avoid it and check some data conversion to handle this problem. Next one is nested ternary operators without explicit parentheses. This is about best practices. So if you previously followed best practices, you will not find you will not face with this issue. This is kind of obvious. Next one, array k exists. Previously, if you used it on objects, you was able to get proper result. Right now, it is deprecated, and you need to use isSet or property exists instead. Next one, implode with historical parameter order. So you know that the proper order is implode. First argument is glue, and the second argument is part. But implementation supported another one way before. You may specify parts first and glue second, and it worked, used to work very great. But right now it does not work in this way. So this is about best practices as well. Comparison of date intervals objects. It's also described there. Previously, you was able to compare date interval objects if some object is smaller, greater, or even equal. Right now, it results in false all the time. So the recommended way to handle it is convert like get timestamp from your date interval object and not from date interval object, from date object. Get timestamp and compare two timestamps if you need it. This is one of the possible solution. You can came up with any other. And the last one is change to reflections. So a reflection type to string method is deprecated right now, and the recommendation is use getName method instead. Just want to mention one more, like we was able to, there was no backward incompatible changes to Magento API. We expect so, I mean, there was no any backward incompatible changes catched by our tooling. And the only backward incompatible change we are aware about if change the default value for one of the action groups of MFTF tests. But in scope of this work, we updated a list of dependencies, root dependencies of Magento, which also may result in some BOC changes for you. But for some projects, but we did not do not think about it as backward incompatible changes. And yeah, here is the list of additional resources which I mentioned before. Once again, there is article written by Lukasz about community effort of upgrading PHPUnit tests. You can find a lot of useful information there, and you can use it in order to do upgrade for your tests. It is about Magento 2.4, but it is applicable for 2.3.7 release as well. And another one, just a link to official documentation PHPUnit about upgrading from PHP 7.3 to 7.4 with described changes in there. That's it from my side, and I open to your questions. Okay, if no questions, thank you for your attention.
Yeah, I don't see any questions, so guys, if you will have some, just put them to the chat and Max will be able to answer. So thank you, Max, for the great presentation, for some platform update news. So
yeah. Thank you, Max. Impressive migration.
Okay. Yes, thank you, guys.
With MQP.
I can start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Victor. I am software engineer from Magento L3 support department, and today I will talk about Magento Quality Patches tool. The purpose of this tool is distribution of quality patches from Magento support. I'll start with a demo record about MQP usage and then share with you some MQP numbers, benefits, and plans. Let me share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's start.
Hello and welcome to the short demo of the Magento Quality Patches tool. I will be covering what Magento Quality Patches is, how it can be installed and used by our customers. Magento Quality Patches tool is a composer package that contains a set of patches and commands for working with them. It's intended to automate distribution of quality patches across cloud and on-prem Magento customers. The general flow looks next. Support team creates a patch and pushes it into MQP repository. As soon as the next version of the MQP Composer package is published, the patch becomes available to cloud and on-prem customers. Customer installs or updates MQP Composer dependency and gets the latest patches compatible with his Magento version. Customer selects and applies patches that are needed for solving his issues. Let's take a look how it can work for on-prem Magento customer. Imagine that I'm happy owner of fresh installed fancy Magento store. Everything is going well until one day I face several core issues. For demo purpose, I'll add some issues to instance. So I have 3 issues and I'm not happy anymore. I'm calling to Magento support and asking for help. Support tells me, "Hey, Victor, we are happy to inform you that your issues are known and there is a Magento Quality Patches tool that will help you to fix them." If you are on-prem customer, then you should require MQP Composer package using a command. Composer require Magento Quality Patches. If you are a cloud customer, just update Magento ECE tools and you will be all set. Okay, let's try. I'll make a small modifications in the command to get a demo package. Need to wait for a while until Composer updates the dependencies. It can be not so fast. And here we go. Now we have Magento Patches script located in vendor bin folder. This script provides next commands. Status shows a list of available patches. Apply performs patch applying, and revert performs patch reverting. Let's check the list of available patches with status command. We see the table with next information. Page ID. ID is the same as Jira issue number. Page title, short title of the page. Type. For on-prem, all patches are optional. For cloud, some patches can be required. Status can be applied, not applied, or not available when we can't identify status due to some conflicts. And details contains the list of affected components and such information like required patches. We need this feature to solve possible compatibility conflicts. So, as customer, I see that page MC1 fixes issue 1, page MC2 fixes issue 2, and page MC3 fixes issue 3. It's a good news for me because I have all these issues on my instance. Let's apply a first page. We see a message that patch has been successfully applied, and let's check a status table. And we see that MC1 page has applied status. Let's refresh our instance. And we see that issue 1 was gone and was fixed by page MC1. Page MC1 works. If I changed my mind and want to come back issue 1, I can revert the page MC1. Let's do it. We see a message that page FC1 has been reverted successfully. Let's check a status table. We see that page FC1 has not applied status, and after refreshing the page, we see issue 1 is on a place. Now I want to apply 2 patches at once to fix both issue 1 and issue 2. Let's do it. We see that both patches has been applied successfully. Let's check status table. Patches MC1 and MC2 have applied status. And after refreshing a page, we see both issues fixed. And now I changed my mind again and want to revert all applied patches. I can do it with command option all. Revert and option all. Let's check the status table. Now you can see that all patches have not applied status. And let's refresh the page. After refreshing the page, all issues again make asset troubles. Next case, we will be applying a page that has dependency on other page. It's a page MC3. As you can see, it requires MC2. The reason of dependency can be modifications the same lines of code by both patches. Let's apply it. Tool tells me that page MC2 is required for MC3 and asks confirmation to apply it as well. I give my confirmation, and here we go. Both pages are applied. Let's check our page. As you can see, issue 2 and issue 3 were fixed, and page MC3 and MC2, I changed the same line of code. And the last case I would like to demonstrate you is a page replacement. Imagine that support wants to replace page MC3 with some improved version, MC3 version 2. For demo purpose, I'll do it in a page configuration directly on instance. Let's check a status table. Here we can see recommendation to replace MC3 with MC3 version 2. And we see that MC3 has type deprecated now. Let's do it. Why? MC3 version 2. The tool asks confirmation to revert deprecated page and applies a new one. Let's check status table again. Now you see that deprecated page MC3 disappeared from status table at all. So it's not available anymore. Let's check our page. And we see issue 3 was fixed by a new page MC3 version 2. That was the main features of Magento Quality Patches tool. There are some differences of usage for cloud customers. Before applying selected quality patches, the set of required cloud patches is applied automatically. It shouldn't make any trouble since all optional quality patches are compatible with required cloud patches. And since cloud has a read-only file system, patches are applied during the deployment process by ECE tools. So a customer needs to set the list of patches as environment variable in Magento env YAML file and commit the changes. It looks like that. We open Magento env YAML file and add the list of desired patches here, quality patches, and commit and push changes into the remote branch. After that, the process of redeploy will be started and applied all the patches on cloud instance. I hope this demo was informative enough. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thanks for watching.
Okay, guys, let me share some numbers with you about MQP. For today, Magento support added near 160 patches during 20 MQP releases. The most part of quality patches has related articles in Magento knowledge base. 136 articles with patch description and issue steps to reproduce are published on supportmagento.com. You can quickly find the article about patch using the patch ID as a search keyword on supportmagento.com. Here is some benefits. Free early access to the documented patches from Magento support. All quality patches were created by Magento Commerce customers' requests. Many of them have been backported to different Magento versions, so you can take an advantage from using ready-to-go patches for your Magento version. MQP release is coming every 2 weeks, so you can get fresh patches pretty often. Conflicts between patches have been resolved on a pull request stage by Magento support. So all patches are compatible with each other. Patches support. Some patches can be deprecated or replaced with improved versions over time. So in this case, you will see a warning message about applying a deprecated patch in the CLI output, or it can be found in the logs. Just don't forget to update Magento Quality Patches package to stay tuned. Backlog. Current goal is to minimize the time required for developer to answer the question, does MQP contain the patch for my issue or not? To achieve it, we are going to introduce patch categories and create a landing page for MQP. Categories will help Magento developers to have better navigation experience. Developer will be able to find faster patches, for example, related to performance, payments, web API issues, etc. Landing page for MQP, it should be a well-structured online resource that explains in easy way what is MQP, contains the list of released patches, like with option to filter them by Magento version and by patch category. Also, it should contain links on documentation and KB articles. MQP GitHub repository is public, so feel free to report issues there and make your contributions. That's pretty much it from me. Maybe you have questions.
Yeah, Victor, actually we have 2 questions in chat. The first one, how you check quality patch status on cloud?
We use like dry run. We're using dry run to check patch status if they apply it or not. Apply with dry run.
Okay, and the second one, is there any method by which we can update for new patches?
Updates currently, maybe no. You should like update a composer, Magento Quality Patches composer package, and see what is new. Also, you can use a page where we are publishing release notes about MQP. This page like is available on Magento Dev Docs. Currently, yeah, there is only such way to know what is new. But we are planning when we implement this MQP landing page, maybe we introduce maybe some notification about new patches and so on, email notification, something like that.
Okay, guys, I don't see any other questions. So, last chance to ask.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you, guys. See you on the next meeting. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.